I've got 2K of my 10K saved to start my store so far. Working 2 jobs, Amazon warehouse, and a gym. That's a hustler, bro. That's a hustler. I love that. Absolute W. Absolutely amazing. Another thing, it's cool if you want to save up just to have an extra cushion. But remember, you don't need to spend 10K. Like spending more on your, unless you're going to launch a higher ticket item. Because then, of course, if you launch a higher ticket item, it's going to require more capital. Say if you launch a $150 selling price product versus a $30 selling price product, different investments. But don't, outside of that, don't think that more capital equals more success when you're launching. Abdullah, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Fareen, all I see is question marks. So if you ask something, it got muted by TikTok. Also, I miss Patel. Oh, no, just kidding. It didn't. I see it now. Can you tell something about GTIN or barcode? Can I tell you something about what? What do you want to know? 31 out of 32 units prime eligible and 1 unit processing and 4 more shipments to go. Let's go, Patel. Any wholesaler for US or UK? Number one, I don't do wholesale. Number two, Google, super powerful tool. You just go on, there's a little search bar. You type in, let's say you wanted toy products, official US wholesalers for toy products, and then it gives you a list. And it's like pages and pages of lists. And then you use the information on those lists and you start contacting them. Very good strategy. I made 52K last month. Absolute W. Is it possible to buy a list of winning products from you? I do product selection, but it's not a list. I mean, you can, but theoretically, but it'd be pretty expensive to buy a whole list off of me. We do product selection. And it's only for students. Usually it's 2K, but it is actually going to be increasing once this announcement happens. It's the only thing that's increasing for students. And then obviously the price of the program for non-students is going to be going up once that announcement happens, God willing. Like I said, I did have a meeting today about the announcement. And so it's a little delayed, but we're still in motion for that, God willing. How to get invoices? By purchasing product, and then you get an invoice from the purchase. It's kind of like, how do you get a receipt? By making a purchase, and then you get a receipt. Hey, let's go. You've been edging me with this announcement for 2 months now. Honestly, man, it's edging me a little bit as well. And I think it's cool that I announced it when I did, and it kind of got, maybe not cool that it got delayed, but cool that you guys all get to see, because that's business sometimes. Maybe sometimes you have a deal that's going to happen. Sometimes you have an agreement. Sometimes you have a new business launching a product, and you have a timeline set in your head. This is why I tell people, like, imagine I had like this business plan. Okay, this announcement's gonna happen in December, and we have to do XYZ in the month of December, and we have to do XYZ in the month of January. But things happen, legal things happen, so we had to delay it a little bit. Totally cool. I'll actually, by the way, I can't say it now, but I'll explain why it got delayed after the announcement is made. That I do believe I'm allowed to do. I just can't say it before. So, things happen, delays happen, and then you just push through it. You roll with the punches, you adapt. And sometimes you have to call audibles. I entered 10 units into Vine, but only had 1 out of 5 shipments that are in. How quickly do Vine claims happen? It's different for every product. No one size fits all, but sometimes I see it within a couple weeks where they get claimed, and sometimes it takes them longer for their products to get claimed by Vine customers. Because you have to realize that it's like a list of products, and then Vine customers go through that list. It's not just like Amazon. It's not like Amazon is like, you 30 people have to buy this product. How many members of over 1 year since launch do you think make 10K gross a month? Easily 100. I mean, we have we have a really solid group of like initial people. Like the program was so different back then because you almost, I hate to make this comparison, but you almost have to think like Apple. Apple was, gone are the days of RIP, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak sitting in the garage, um, working on this project. Apple has a headquarters and build companies and build, you know what I'm saying? It's a different level. So the program was like this tight, really, I still think it is because we don't have like thousands and thousands and thousands of students, but obviously like 350 students versus like 150 students, and then towards the beginning is night and day difference. So like that, everybody in the program is awesome, but that initial, like those initial members, it was a really it was like the garage vibes. It was like a tight knit community. It still is. So I'm not trying to like discredit where it's at now, but yeah, a lot of them have gone on to crush it. I mean, I made a video about it recently. One of them sold his business. One of them is crushing it and went on to start a food prep service, like HelloFresh kind of vibe, but it's actually a halal version. So one of my students, I mean, a bunch of my students have retired. A few of my students retired themselves, retired their parents. And we get a lot of, student results from like newer students for sure. But, obviously time spent on something, a good amount of results are from those initial students as well. Abdullah, thank you for sharing the live. You kind of look like Seth Rogen. Literally never heard that in my life. I can understand Nipsey Hussle, RIP, Snoop, Colin Kaepernick, Seth Rogen. Nah. Rudy Gobert, that's another one. How does Vine work? Let's say your product is $10 and you want to send it to 30 people. Is that $300 to Vine? No. So you pay to enroll your product into Vine. You pay to ship the product to the customer, and then you give the product away for free. So you're not necessarily paying the full selling price, but you're paying like the back end price. So obviously your cost of goods and shipping per unit, that's gone because you're giving the product away. And then what it costs to get it to the customer, that's gone. And then the enrollment fee into Vine as well. Jay, thank you for the follow. You're going to see me on the results soon, hopefully. Not hopefully, God willing, brother. Hard work and God's plan. We don't run a business off hope. Yes, that's correct, Show. For the enrollment fee is with that comment. Oh, you are Amazon. I buy and sell crypto. Yeah, bro. I haven't. Did you think it was crypto? I haven't talked about crypto once. No, if your cost of goods is $10, total will be $200 plus 300. Cost of goods shipment can be 200, 300 more. Okay, thanks, G. Hey, let's go. Look at that. 2 AMZ Masterclass students. This is in the TikTok live. The community, absolutely amazing. Always amazing. Always helping each other out, which I love. Fun fact, I designed the community over time to be the same as what I had when I was coming up. So like students are able to reach out to me. I was able to reach out to my cousins. It felt like I had a good, even though it was only myself and 2 other people, it felt like I had a good community around me. I tried to curate a good community. I was able to sit down with my cousins and have talks every week about Amazon stuff and things like that. We have our weekly group coaching calls so that I was reading something, sorry. But that's like a time to be able to discuss and do Q&A and roundtable. I was able to have my cousins help me with my Amazon ads. That's why students have a one-on-one call. We can go over their ads and all of these things. So a lot of it wasn't just like, oh, I think I should do this. It was actually curated, and it was, to me, maybe this is tooting my own horn, saying it myself, but to me, like a very well thought out execution plan. What helped me when I started selling on Amazon? If that helped me, what are the chances that it's going to help other people? All right. We got to our like and share goal. My rant, we dropped some people from the rant. Let's get 3 yeses and we will do it. Do we want to do live product research today? Show you how I find potential products. My favorite method to find products on Amazon. I think it will be fun. We hit the like goal, we hit the share goal. So all we need is 3 yeses in the chat, and we will do live product research. We got 1 yes from Abdullah, newest follower. Let's go 2 yeses in the chat, and we will do live product research. If not, we'll just kind of chill, I suppose. But I think that live product research is always fun. And one other thing, I always, when I'm on live on TikTok for the most part, I also go live on YT. When I go live on YT, all of these lives are recorded, so you can go back and watch them. How good are you at selling, or is it everything happening digitally? I don't think that's an or question. How good am I at selling? I'm very good. Is everything happening digitally? Well, it's e-commerce, so it's happening on the internet. So yes, it is all happening digitally. But yeah, I've been doing this for 7 years. I don't think that you do, again, I'm not trying to sound arrogant, but I don't think you do something for 7 years if you're like mediocre at it, or, 7+ figures in revenue profitably. If you're mediocre at it, I'm very blessed. I'm not trying, again, toot my own horn, and I'm not special or anything like that. It's just time. I've been in the game for a while. Do you do OA or retail arbitrage? No, I'm not a fan of those business models. I sell my own brands and own products. I'm not a reseller of other people's brands. It just doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It just never fit my lifestyle. It never fit my path, and it never fit my. No, Chazelle, this is 1 year. This is 1 year on one account. So in total, 4 large Amazon accounts and then 1 brand new Amazon account. And so this is the largest of the 5. And that's over a year time frame, year over year, not in 7. What car you drive? I just drive a regular car, brother. I'm not a car guy. The things that I care about, where I live, and 4 things I care about to spend money on: family, experiences, where I live, and traveling. What do you use to sell? What do you mean, what do I use? Like, where do I sell? On Amazon? Or what do you mean, what do I use? Like tools? What advice would you give yourself when you first started? Now, answer this a few ways. Number 1, also, y'all, 1 more yes in the chat and we'll do live product research. We got 2 yeses, 1 more yes. We hit our like and share goal. So a few ways that I'll answer this question. It's a solid one. There's no advice that I got when I started. There's no advice that was missing when I first started. I had mentors along my journey. Now, if I had to give myself, an extra piece of advice, like I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't go back and be like, hey, do this differently or anything. But what I would tell my younger self, if I could go back 10 years, I was never scared of losing money. Like, some people are like, well, what if I fail? I didn't think about that. I only focused on succeeding. But I would tell myself, in the times when you did lose money, don't focus on the money lost. Focus on Focus forward. Focus on the money that you're trying to earn. There's the saying like a penny saved is still only a penny saved. Being frugal. I'm not saying go be frivolous with your money and blow it all, but like being frugal, being small-minded, being fearful, making emotional decisions because you don't want to lose, as opposed to analytical decisions that there's a risk involved in everything that you do to propel forward. Don't focus on money lost. So stick to the fundamentals. Don't focus on that. Can you build up brands just to sell them and start again? Yes. What are you selling on that account? Health and household products, but across accounts, health and household, home and kitchen, office products, baby products, toys and games are the top categories. There's a few other stragglers, but those are the top categories, no doubt. All right, let's do some live product research here. Remember, y'all, I do Amazon private label. So I sell my own brands, my own products. Which business model would I do? Private label. That's the one that I recommend. Here's the thing about y'all asking people what business model you should do. If you go into a live with somebody doing drop shipping, they're going to tell you that one. Real estate, they're going to tell you that one. You get the point. So insert business model here. You guys have to decide what interests you. So I do private label. I'm obviously I can give you analytical reasons. I'm not one who's like, drop shipping's done, arbitrage is done. You can only make money with this. Like, no. But I will give you analytical reasons why I do analytical reasons why this is a better business model than what we're comparing it to. But I still have biases towards it. So like if you go into somebody's live who does Amazon arbitrage and you say, what business model should I do? They're going to tell you that, and they're going to give you reasons why wholesale and private label are not good. A lot of people give emotional reasons. Like I said, I'll give you analytical reasons. It boils down to what you want to do, because you're going to be the one doing it. Like, let's say you come into my live, Luke, what should I do? Amazon private label. Okay, Luke told me to do it, so I'm going to start that. I'm not going to be the one running your business. I'm not going to be the one there, like physically, solving the problem if things go wrong. You'll be able to ask me questions and watch my videos, but you're the one going through it. You're the one in the trenches, not me, for your business. Air Stick, good to see you, brother. Stop show. No, I do not sell fragile electronic toothbrushes. Do you have someone helping you sell products? I started on my own, created my own successful business. I have my own successful Amazon accounts, but I do have business partners, but that came after I found success on Amazon. Yo, I am out of town and missed the call last night. All good, man. Hope you're having safe travels. Did miss you on the call, but it was a good call, Q&A session. Got a list of topics students want to see in calls coming up in the future, so we'll definitely be getting that, and announcement still coming. Ooh. I wanted to put somebody on the spot, but maybe I shouldn't. No, I shouldn't. I can't wait for the announcement. Hey, should me collab closed 2025 on 5.2 M's on Amazon with proofs? Should you collab what? When did you make your first 50K? Within like 7 months of selling on Amazon. That was top line revenue, by the way. 50K profit was a little bit later down the road, but top line revenue at over a 30% profit margin was about 7 months in. I've always liked selling coin for. Can you help me sell it for more? Coins, like physical coins? Is that what you're talking about? I don't resell stuff. So like if you had your own brand of coins, I'm your guy. Reselling, I could do it, but that's not where I find joy or passion or anything like that. You're back in the office. We back. Yes, sir. We're back in the lab. We are back in the lab this was the first week since December 4th was the last time I went on TikTok live in the office. Frank, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. All right. He's cooking, folks. Yes, sir. No, I don't want to do that. I still wanted to put someone on blast. All right, let's do live product research while we have time. I already know how to do product research. So for those of you who are new, two things. Number one, we are showing you how to do product research. Just know that I will intentionally try not to find a product that meets my criteria. I'm here to teach you my process, my strategy, my thought process, not to hand deliver you a product on a silver platter. That's number one. Number two, I know how to do product research already. So we're going to make this interactive. First comment always wins. And if you don't interact, it does nothing to me because I have a list of hundreds of products that I can launch and I already know how to do it. So this is for you guys. So interact. So step one for interaction. What category or general product, home decor, toys, bathroom, kitchen, what kind of product do you guys want to do product research for? So remember, first comment always wins. Let's do electronic toothbrush. No electronic products. And shows just trolling. Shows one of my students. So first comment always wins. I know how to do product research, so you guys interact. Okay, Airstick is also one of my students, and he's also trolling. Let's get somebody really to drop a category that we do product research in. If you guys don't want to, we got like 10 yeses on product research, so I would hope everyone interacts because that's the whole point. Otherwise, we can just ask questions or answer questions. Beauty, and one more thing, if I tell you no to a comment, don't be like, oh, well, why am I going to interact? He just tells me no. That's how you learn. The whole idea is learn my process. Beauty, I would avoid. Why? As a new seller, I would not touch topical products. Super high cost per clicks, big brands dominate the category, super low prices, super competitive, super established markets. So I wouldn't even spend time there. Kids' toys, that is one that I would spend time in. Big fan. So I'm gonna share my screen and get that all set up. Fragrance is another one that I would not start with. Ooh, who's that calling me? That's an area code from my old town. You guys can hear me, right? Because I'm getting a call, so the mic might be off. You guys hear me? Yes? No? Okay, cool. So let's do this. We're going to share the screen. Gold just crashed. Define crash. That's cute. That had to have been that was a good troll. Gold crashed 5,200 to 4,900. The biggest crash of the century. Can you create your fans so that we would see your results? What do you mean by that? Men's clothing, no. Terrible category. Hey man, at what age did your mindset change for the better? This is a really good question. Hopefully y'all can bear with me for this answer. Then we'll get straight into product research, promise. It wasn't, my mindset shifted at the age of 19. Before that, I was lost. But it didn't shift because I turned 19. It shifted because of the things that I did, implemented, and gave up. So a lot of you know the story, party kid. Why does this feel like it's foggy? Oh, that's way better. It was foggy. Okay, a lot of you know, party kid. going to raves, a lot of vices, in a bad position. I was like, this isn't what I want my life to be, right? You know, I'm sitting here, I'm not going to college, I'm working a minimum wage job, all these things. I'm like, I want more from this. So I decided to give up a lot of the stuff that seemed to be the common denomination. I hate to say this, I don't mean to sound mean, but seemed to be the common denominator between all the people who lived lives that I didn't want to live, including myself, by the way, at the time. So I gave up the partying. I stopped going out. I stopped hanging out with certain friends. I started eating healthier. I started going to the gym. Like, you have to make an act. You have to dislike the old version of yourself so much that you decide to change and create a new version and evolve. So that's again, 19, that's how it started. And that is when it started. All right. Product research. Let's do it. First, let's share the screen to YT. Remember, y'all, I also go live on YT while I'm on live on TikTok. So the screen shares, you can see them, as well as when the live is over, you're able to rewatch and see what we did, like a video. So let's do this. Bada boom, bada bing. And feel free to keep asking questions while we're doing product research. Clean the front camera, so we're good here. All right, there we go. So first thing I'm going to do, this is my favorite method with Amazon, is I'll search something that's generic. Kids' toys, baby toy, you know what I mean? So something generic. And then it's going to give me all the search results, and I'm going to look for a product that catches my eye. Now, this is the part, going back to it, where we're going to be interactive. You guys have to also do stuff, because I know how to do this. Next step is we're going to find a product that catches our eye. Okay. I'm going to scroll. First comment always wins. Remember, if I tell you no, I'm going to explain why, but that's a good thing, because that's how you learn. That's the whole point of this. Literally, what catches your eye? Like, what is your eye drawn to? That's what makes it catch your eye. What do you think is a product? Oh, maybe I'll look into this one. So I'm going to scroll through. I'll go slow. I don't analyze specific products for people. Okay. Now, we're going to look at this product, but I'm also going to explain why I look at this product. You'll know what I mean in a second. So the RC car. I'm going to show you guys how to analyze this, but I'm also going to explain why, if I was doing product research on my own, I would not actually look at this one. Biggest reason, it's electronic. Electronic products have one of the highest return rates on Amazon. But if I did want to sell this or look at this product, I would identify the main keyword. It's almost always in the title. So here it's remote controls car, right? I'm going to guess that it's actually RC car instead of remote control car. We can even test this. I'll show you guys. So remote control, and it's going to pop up here. Remote control car, 23,000 search volume. So the one that it has the most search volume and is relevant, RC car, is going to be the main keyword. RC car. Let's see, maybe I'm wrong. RC cars, 25,000. So I think the other one was 23, right? So this is our main keyword, that it's relevant. Okay, yep, all the products, or at least most of the products on page 1, are what we were looking for. Now I'm going to go to my product research software, something like Helium 10. Shameless plug, y'all make sure that you're following the page, because we do these lives daily, weekly. Much gem content that gives value just like this. So this is Helium 10. It's a product research software. And I'm going to explain what this does once it loads. When I do presentations, always likes to take longer to load. All right, so this is going to show me all the data for the products on page 1. Some of these are the same, Georgios. So it's going to show me the search volume, total revenue in the market for all of these products, the average revenue for all these products, average price, average reviews. This is how I decide whether I want to sell a product or not. Search volume is good. I want strong search volume. I want across all the main keywords, the search volume to be at least 10,000. And then I also want a product that's not seasonal. Seasonal would be like if it spiked here, it's very normal because this is a kid's product for the search volume to spike during the holidays, very giftable. But if we were at 124,000 during the holidays and then we dropped down to like 1,000, okay, there's no more search volume outside of this time of the year. But here we're still good. So that meets the criteria. Total revenue, I want it to be at least 200K. This is 13 mil. So we're good there. Average revenue, usually I want this range to be at least 7 to 10K. We're at 280. Average price, I want it to be at least $30. So we see that we're at 87. So we're good here. Average reviews, I want to see at under or around 500. So we're actually not good right here. This would also be a disqualifier aside from the product being an electronic. And the reason behind this is it shows that the market is very, or more established than what I would maybe like. Now, another thing is we're going to look at how low reviewed sellers in the market are performing. Now, something tells me it's going to be pretty good here because we're just coming out of Q4. So yeah, so there's 17 new sellers on page 1, or at least low reviewed sellers, I should say. And I want at least 20% of them to be making 10K plus a month. So we're actually good there too. Our average reviews was a little high. And then the fact that this is an electronic product disqualifies it because electronic products have one of the highest return rates on Amazon. Now, obviously that one didn't meet the criteria and it took some explaining, but even with the explaining, I think that I did that under 3 minutes. Maybe if you go with the YT replay back, you guys can tell me how long it took. Okay. So it's fairly quick to analyze a product. Oh, Luke, but that product didn't meet the criteria. So what do I do now? I come back to my page on Amazon that says toys. And I go through and I look for a product that catches my eye again. And I rinse and repeat the process. Now, the reason why I tell people it should take you no more than 1 to 3 minutes to analyze a product. The cool thing is when you do this, as long as I have and have analyzed quite literally thousands of products, I know that here, like, I'm not even going to research that market like we just did. It's electronic. Something like this with 16,000 reviews. I know that the average reviews is going to be really, really high. So I probably won't even touch that. Maybe these lacrosse sticks, maybe that's something interesting that I would actually, explore and look at. Lego, obviously I can't launch Lego, so I'm not even researching that. Just the fact that I know this one, is this one electronic? I think it is. This one and this one, 4 of these first products I'm not even looking at. If I was a novice who didn't understand that, maybe I look at each one of these and I waste a bunch of time on it. So if it takes me 1 to 3 minutes to analyze products and I understand which ones are already disqualified before I even look at them, then it's like, boom, 1 to 3 minutes here. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not. And then I'm able to go through and you have 7 pages on Amazon. Remember, we search something generic. So it's not like every single person who's doing this is going to be searching kids' toys. Maybe they search baby toys. Maybe they search something more niche, toys for ages 1 to 3. So because you're going broad, you're going to be, there's millions of products on Amazon. Because you're going broad, you're going to have access to be able to see so many different products that it's going to end up being where, okay, maybe 20 products you don't find a good one, but on that 21st you do. And because it's only taking you 1 to 3 minutes, that's 20 to 60 minutes in trying to research a product. If average reviews are high because 1 or 2 sellers is bringing up the average review significantly, does that change your criteria? I guess it's kind of contextual. If they're maybe not as relevant, I may remove it from the data. If it's super relevant, I would still consider it. But then I would also look at how, like the low reviewed sellers, how many of them there are and how many of them perform good. Cosmetic category is good. No, terrible category, especially for a beginner. Going up against behemoth brands, Elf Cosmetics, L'Oreal, all of them, they will outspend you. They're playing a different game, pretty much lifetime value of a customer. They'll lose money at the front end to make money on the back end. You can't afford to do that. Super high advertising cost per clicks. pages on page one. Actually, in fact, let me just show you. What's one? What? Somebody say a makeup. Oh, Aussie, thank you for the follow. I actually want to show you guys a super saturated, or not saturated, I don't like that word, a super competitive market. Somebody say a makeup. Lipstick, mascara, what do we want? No, not a makeup brand. Like a makeup, like an actual. No, okay. I don't know what you're saying, Georgios. You guys are no fun. Nobody's interactive. I also know that there's a delay on the lives, but still. Lip gloss. Thank you. Okay. So let's look up lip gloss. So I said big brands, e.l.f. Cosmetics. So just look at this first page, right? So let's look. I just showed you guys what an established but not even super established market looks like. That was the RC car. Let me show you what something like this looks like. If it loads, hello. What about games or puzzles? Yeah, those could be good, depending on the market, if it meets your criteria that you're using. Like I said, it always takes so long to load only when I am presenting, which is cool. But all right, look at this. First of all, average price $16. Cost per clicks for this market are probably like over $5 per click. You don't get one click, one sale. Sometimes you get 10 clicks in one sale. So you're going to go spend $50 for a $16 sale. Like I said, some of these big companies can play a game where they lose money to make money on the back end, because you're going to be a repeat purchaser of the products and brand. Now let's look at low reviewed sellers on page one. 200. 200 is low, but still, it's up there. There's 2 sellers right here on page one who have under 200 reviews. One of them makes $0 a month, probably a variation in an existing brand, and the other one makes $3,000 a month. What are the chances that you, as a low reviewed seller, are going to compete against all these sellers with tens of thousands, hundreds of reviews, and compete against them in a category that's super expensive to advertise in, super competitive, super low price, and get your product on page one against these behemoths, right? So I avoid category. Do not think that it is the move. Now, everybody, a couple of shameless plugs really quick. Make sure that you're following the page, because we do these lives daily/weekly. Number 2, make sure you go show some love to my content, because I post a lot of valuable content just like this for free every day, 4 or 5 videos every day. And number 3, if you guys wanted to have access to me as your mentor along your Amazon journey, like literally have access to me as your mentor, not just some course, a full ecosystem for Amazon sellers, AMZ Masterclass mentorship in the TikTok bio. Price is going up very, very soon, so lock it in while you can. Go book a call with the team. Ali, thank you for the follow. Yeah, and plus, even those behemoths spend so much on marketing and that their net is pretty low. Yeah, they're running a different net than I am on average, because they're playing a different game. Like the volume of Maybelline is night and day the volume that I do, and we do one account. We do some volume, but it's pennies compared to some of these big brands. But like I said, y'all, show some love to the last few videos. Check out the AMZ Masterclass. Make sure you're following. Turn on live notifications. I hope you all have a blessed rest of your day, blessed weekend, and I will see you all, God willing, soon.